Now, I've carefully gone through this MOU that was released the other day after it was signed digitally, as good lawyers do, and I found many problems with it. Number one, in no way should we be involved in helping in any way, directly or indirectly, the conference of hundreds of billions of dollars to the Iranian regime. I don't care if it's some cockamamie method, some Rube Goldberg method. We'll give it to Frank. Frank will give it to Mohammed. Mohammed will give it to Iris. It's money. It's fungible. We all know. On the one hand, we say we're not helping them, really. On the other hand, the language in the MOU makes clear that we will help facilitate it. $300 billion that will be used not for the people there, who's kidding whom, but to strengthen the regime. How do we know? Because that's what they've done in the past. And no language or no deal will change it or change them. I suspect this was done because Iran had been talking about reparations. Remember that? Well, believe it or not, I think this is some kind of an answer to that. We can talk about reparations, but as the victor, Iran should be paying us for the damage they did to our bases and the costs that we've had to incur, you and me, Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer, to stop them from building a nuclear weapon to shoot at us. How about reparations for us? Number two, we declare the immediate and permanent termination of military operations on all fronts, including with Hezbollah. Another grave mistake, in my view. Why are we doing Hezbollah's bidding when Israel is being attacked by Hezbollah and the Lebanese people and the government want Hezbollah gone? It's an Iranian terrorist group that has taken over the country. It's a complete capitulation to the Iranian regime because Hezbollah is its terrorist lifeline. It's an absolute capitulation of them. And why would we do this? Why would we do it to Israel? Why would we do it to Lebanon and the Lebanese people? Israel fought by our side at the beginning of the war. They have a right to defend themselves, and they have a right to defend themselves without us telling them how to do it. Because they're the only ones fighting Hezbollah that killed our people. We haven't sent troops in there, nor should we. Israel's doing the job. And we're admonishing Israel repeatedly and publicly. Now, I got a problem with this. By immediately and permanently declaring no more military operation, right at the top, before any deal is reached, does that make any sense? Aren't we going to lose a lot of leverage? 3, we commit to fully remove the naval blockade within 30 days. It's already started. Again, before any final deal is reached. Now, why would we agree to abandon that leverage? The MOU talks about safe passage of vessels through the straits without charge for 60 days. Well, what does that mean? Well, we've got a little bit more clarity. That means after 60 days, they'll impose some kind of fee. And therefore, they will have some power to enforce that fee. In other words, the straits will be surrendered to the regime. Those are international navigable waters, and the precedent that sets between them and the communist Chinese in the South China Sea is terrible. It's terrible. So why are we doing that? These are legitimate questions. 4, we commit lifting sanctions against the Iranian regime. My understanding is we have about $24 billion. And to help them have sanctions removed that have been imposed by the UN Security Council, the International Atomic Energy Agencies, and any other primary or secondary entities. So now we're going to do their bidding to have sanctions relieved by other entities? I just went through how we crushed this regime, didn't I? How we have every right to celebrate the fact, the president, under his leadership, how we have crushed this regime. So why are we accommodating them like this? Now listen to this. Not until item 8. 8 out of 14 points does the Memorandum of Understanding even get to the issue of nuclear weapons and enrichment, which was the whole point of our military action to begin with. So let me read the relevant section to you quickly. Tell me if you're satisfied with this. Now, I understand there's to be deals, but I'm only dealing with what's in front of us right now, what's been given to us, okay? Belatedly, but here it is. It says in relevant part, if they're signing this MOU and subsequent to the beginning of the implementation of paragraphs 1, 4, 5, 10, and 11 of this MOU, and the continuing implementation of these measures, the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran will start negotiations regarding the final deal exclusively on the other paragraph. What the hell does that mean? There's nothing specific. There's no details whatsoever. There's immediate releases of certain funds. There's immediate use of the straits. There's all kinds of immediate actions or actions within 30 days and promises that are made. Does it get more ambiguous than this? Shouldn't this be number one? Shouldn't this be the focus? The focus? The answer is yes, in my view. There's nothing in that document, nothing about ballistic missiles because the Iranian regime wouldn't allow it. And we ought not downplay their destructive power. One of the reasons the Arabs were lobbying us to end this war was because of the ballistic missile and drone damage that was being done to its oil capacity, its infrastructure. You saw those ballistic missiles on TV. They're the size of a yellow school bus. You saw them take out entire buildings. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine if Iran gets 5,000, 10,000, and they're getting very efficient, assembly line efficient, and making them with the help of the communist Chinese. And they start blackmailing and threatening Israel or their Arab neighbors or Europe. Now we know they have ballistic missiles that can reach Europe. There's no way to stop a wave of ballistic missiles. How is it possible that this is left off a deal when we militarily defeated this enemy? Because they wouldn't agree to it, in my view. That's why. He said, okay. There's nothing here about the Iranian people. Anywhere. Did we not tell them that we would come and help them? Did we? Did we not mean it? Did it get too complicated? See, this is what happens when you're making deals as opposed to destroying a regime and getting an unconditional surrender. I'm just laying it out so you, the American people, have everything. You make the decisions, not some controlled information. And these old slogans that those who dare to point out these problems are warmongers or support forever wars are not only imbecilic, they're illogical. By not ending this regime, their war will go on. Maybe not right now, but it will. It absolutely will when they're ready and able to go again with some of the money that we're allowing them to get. Billions and billions. Well, it's not our money. Who cares? The warmongers are the isolationists, the pacifists, and the appeasers who empower the Iranian regime and our enemies. They're proxies to kill our citizens, to stand down while the enemy stands up, to hide while they shoot at us. That's not American. And to address that and confront it and deal with it is not a warmonger. That's a patriot. We lost thousands of our fellow Americans because of the isolationists and their ilk. The last 47 years, they reigned. They were in charge. We were isolationists. We didn't hit back. Look, there's more, but that's enough for now. Let us hope that in the next 60 days, some major changes and a final agreement can be made. That said, some of this is immediate, so they won't be changed in that regard. And what's mostly immediate are the concessions. I just see no language, not even in item 13, which talks about meeting certain hurdles, some of which are already immediate, and as a condition of moving on to 60-day negotiation period. And this is despite assurances made on TV shows that they have to comply or little happens. Again, much of what they receive is up front. But here's the biggest issue. The biggest problem is the enemy. The enemy hasn't surrendered. It's never going to surrender. It will never abandon its cause and its revolution. Any deal to them isn't worth the paper it's written on. It may last for a while. That's what they're banking on. Survival, and then reconstruction, and then strike. And so they'll agree to this for a period of time. They'll take all the benefits they can get after they get the $300 billion. Hell, however long that takes, then they can thumb their nose at us and say, what are you going to do about what we're about to do? I've explained time and again that the Iranian regime is not going to sign some agreement and then honor it in direct and explicit violation of its political theocratic ideology and revolution. It never has and it never will. Khomeini explained all of this in black and white. They exist for the end days, for the catastrophic destruction of civilization, starting with Israel, then the United States, then the entire West, and all humanity. This is a death cult. Suicide bombers who want nuclear weapons. And no sooner did the president sign a copy of the MOU than this is reported by open source intel. The new rational leader in Iran, Khalibaf, and one of the key negotiators of that MOU, speaking on Iranian state TV, after the agreement was reached, he said, if we truly seek justice for Khomeini, then that justice will be achieved through the liberation of Jerusalem. We must be committed to that vision and carry out that mission. And there are others who are saying the same thing. Now, you'll be told, well, don't listen to them. It's just rhetoric. It's just listen to every word. Digest it and understand it. They mean it. Listen to every single word. They're not hiding it.